Maya Buntag, and welcome to another interesting episode of My Filipino Adventure. Let me show you something here. You see that bruise there? See that little dot there on my wrist? Well, they did surgery on my heart through that little dot, that little cut on my wrist. I had a heart attack. Not a usual heart attack, but I've been feeling kind of crappy all last week with some pains in my teeth. It was in my teeth, not my chest so much as teeth in the jaw. So I knew something wasn't right. So I made my appointment with my doctor, but as soon as she could get me in was for it was like 4 or 5 days in the future. So I was just trying to take it easy and see how it goes, and being stubborn, like most guys are. And so the appointment was on Tuesday. Monday, I was at work finishing up a job for a customer. I was by myself, and I was having a heart attack on the job. I didn't really realize it. I just knew that it was pain through here, that's a little bit in the chest, but mostly in my jaw, my neck, my teeth were really hurting, and my I have a Fitbit, so I can tell what my pulse or my heartbeat is at least, and my heartbeat was up. So I would stop, take a deep breath, relax, and I tell myself when it gets down to like 90, I'll go back and keep working. And then I'd start rolling a wall or doing whatever I was doing, and then I'd go up. And I'd stop and go up and stop, and these like waves of tense pain in my jaw would come and they'd go, and I'd feel okay for a little bit, and then they'd come and they'd go. And that was the heart attack. I didn't realize it. I'd never had a heart attack before, so what do I know? So I told the lady, I cleaned up, she gave me the check, I'd finished the job. I've been on there for like a week or so. And I told her I'd been having these weird pains, and she said, well, you probably go to see your doctor. I said, well, I'm going to see my doctor. And so I told her that day, she gave me the check. I said, okay, I'm going to the hospital because something's wrong. I couldn't wait to see the doctor. And what's the doctor going to do anyway if I was having a heart attack? Nothing she could do. So I drove myself to the hospital while I was having a heart attack. In the midst of it, I don't know exactly when it happened. And they checked in and they took my blood and they said, yeah, you're having a mild heart attack right now. They count this enzyme in your blood, and a lot of, I'm sure the viewers, some have had heart attacks or know more about this than I do, but there's an enzyme in your blood that will tell you if your heart's under duress. And I remember I had taken my blood before because I thought I was having some heart problems, but it turned out to be my gallbladder. The enzyme count was at 8. And this time it was at 150, something like that. It went up to 170, went up to 180, then it started coming down. But that was over a few days. Anyway, so they put me on some blood thinner and aspirin, and they admitted me to the hospital, and had to call Ina, who has no ride. She doesn't drive, even though we did buy her a little car. I'll make a video about that. And I said, listen, I had a heart attack. I'm in the hospital. So she had her friend drive her up. So they kept me that night under observation. The next morning, the doctor came in and he said, well, let's find out what's going on. We're going to do this thing called a cardiac cath, where we put this wire in through this artery here. This artery or the one in your groin. I said, this one will be good. He says, well, if it works, we'll use this one first. And they put this wire all the way up into your heart, and they leave that wire there. They inject a dye, and they call this one the 100% test. They can see every artery around your heart and seeing what's going on. And the one on my right side was 99% blocked. And I have one on my left side that's about 85% blocked. The one on the 85% blocked one, he said, this is not why you're here today. He pointed at the screen because I was awake during this whole project. He goes, you see this one right here? This is not why you're here today. He goes, you've been working on this one your whole life. He goes, we'll fix that. Don't worry about it. We'll fix this down the road. We're not going to fix it today. It's not life-threatening. Don't even worry about this one. We'll fix it. But that's not the reason you're here today. The other side was. So they put 3 stents in through that little hole. They ran in these 3 little steel tubes, which expand with the balloon, and they and I guess I'm still trying to find out, and I'll give an update when I get more information. But he said there was a lot of clotting in there. So he said this whole process of your heart on your right artery, it happened over like the last week. He says there wasn't a blockage here last week. This all happened in about 1 week's time. And I'm not exactly 100% sure what he means about that. He said that plaque will deposit in your veins, and it's covered with a thin membrane, or a thin cover, so the body, otherwise the red blood cells will attack it as a foreign body. And I don't know what happened. He's not sure either. What caused the red blood cells to attack those areas of plaque, cholesterol buildup, plaque, whatever they call it. But so much of the clotting in the red blood cells caused to block my veins, block my oxygen intake. So they put the stents in there, and I'm going to ask him more about that. What caused that? How much plaque was actually there? Was I in danger down the road, or was this some weird thing that I got a blood clot, and that's the reason I was in the hospital? And I think that's why it was considered a mild. Now, he said that heart normally operates at 55%. I'm down to 45%. He says, we'll see if we can improve those numbers. But your heart muscles don't grow back. So, let me sip of water here. So, that's what happened. I felt great. Yeah, I didn't feel great. After the surgery, since this is an artery and not just a vein, I was in recovery for 4 or 5 hours with this special, like, bubble bandage on here that puts pressure on there for 4 or 5 hours, because they have to make sure that it's sealed up and not bleeding. Plus, you're on blood thinners, because that's an artery. You don't want that to start bleeding. It'd be a lot of problems. So that recovery was really a drag, because that thing hurt so bad. I was pinching my wrist so bad, it made my thumb go numb after a while. So anyway, I got back to the room. This is on Tuesday. I got back to the room about 7 o'clock. I told everyone, don't come visit. Ina had came and visit me the day before. And then Wednesday was checkout day. I had to just wait for the doctor to give me the okay, and I drove home myself. So I drove myself to the hospital and came back again. So I got home Wednesday night. I dropped off my prescriptions, relaxed, slept in my own bed on Wednesday night. Thursday, I went to get my prescriptions. And I've got health insurance. And, I pay a little bit for my... But be prepared. If you have a heart attack, you're going to get a whole bunch of new prescriptions. You're going to have to take a lot of pills for about a year and a half, so your body doesn't reject the stents. So baby aspirin, which I wasn't taking, metoprolol, which I was already taking, but they gave me a different one. It's a time-release one. Some type of statin, like a Lipitor for the cholesterol, even though my cholesterol is good. My cholesterol is 174. Pretty good cholesterol levels. That's why it says in my paperwork here, my heart attack Bible, I call it. I got this little pamphlet. It says no dietary change really needed, because all my numbers are good. My heart rate was 74. My blood pressure is 117 over 74, and my blood cholesterol is 174. Lots of 7.4s in that. And but where's the outrageous one? No, I don't have it. But the one that kills me, no, I don't have it here. But I've got this CVS, my CVS bag. The blood thinner, which I have to take twice a day for a year or maybe 18 months, was $410 for 1 month supply. So that's like almost $5,000 for a 1 year supply. So I'm going to talk to my doctor and see if there's anything I can do about that. That's going to be quite expensive. You'll be seeing me e-begging on my channel so I can afford my drugs. So he said, yeah, I'm good to go. I feel like, I don't know, he was a little beat up. I just feel a little tired. He said, hey, your heart's been through some trauma, so just take it easy for about a couple weeks. I'm supposed to go see him the 28th and we'll learn more. So anyway, that's the story. I pulled through it, and I'll have to go back in to give another stent installed on the left side. But until then, I'm good to go. I'll take another week off work before I go back to work, and we'll see how it goes. So stay cool, stay healthy, and stay classy.